The Hobo Journals, 1932, Episode 4. Well, now back to our story. Friday, June 3rd. Got in Trinidad, Colorado about 5:30 a.m. Stayed here until 7 o'clock and then rode on through. The mountaintops are covered in snow, while down in the valley it's really warm. Got in Pueblo, 11:30 a.m. We got some dinner at the cafes, and with a fellow now by the name of Malcolm Sherbet. Met him in Childress, Texas. We hung around the main drags all afternoon and evening. Sawed some wood for our supper at the Salvation Army, and slept on the floor at the Salvation Army Church at 9 p.m. Saturday, June 4th. Got up 5:30 a.m., had to saw wood for a half hour for our breakfast, went down to the railroad yards and waited for the freights. Left Pueblo around noon and got into Colorado Springs around 2:30 p.m. Could not bum anything except bread in this town. Went down to the Salvation Army and got a swell supper. All we could eat. The city pays for it. Mac and I walked around the town for 3 hours till 8 p.m. Then went down to the police station and got a flop for the night. They had a special building fixed for tourists. Slept good. Washed my shirts and socks out. Sunday, June 5th. Went down to the Salvation Army and had a good breakfast. Caught a freight out at 9:30 a.m. and got in Denver 1 p.m. We walked around and bummed a few hotels. I got a good meal at a hotel, but had to run the grinder in the kitchen for a half hour. We walked around the city until 8:30, then went down to the police station and got a ticket for a bed at the Volunteers of America on 1651 and a half Larimer Street. We weren't tired, so we went around the city some more. Came back in time for church service. Went out afterwards and walked around some more. The flop at the Volunteers of America was lousy, so went down to the freight yards 11:30 p.m. and got in a boxcar and went to sleep. It was okay, but rather cold. Monday, June 6th. Got woke up 4:30 a.m. by a railroad bull. We went down to the Rocky Mountain News and hung around until 7 a.m. We went out and sold newspapers until 10:30, then rode around on the truck till noon, helping the fellow gather the newsstands. Went down to the post office and got Grace's letter, then went up to the YMCA and went swimming with the fellow I was helping. Went down to the Citizens Mission, 1617 Larimer Street, and had supper. It was okay. Mac and I went for a walk afterwards. We went to bed about 9 p.m. It was the best and cleanest I've slept in yet. Tuesday, June 7th. Got up 6:30 a.m., had breakfast at the Citizens Mission. Oatmeal, 2 bowls, bread, coffee, and a donut. We walked down to the railroad tracks until we came to the river and stayed there for about 11 hours. We found some pans and washed for gold a while. We found some, but not enough to make it pay, mainly just gold flakes. On some parts of this river, there are hundreds of people prospecting within the city limits. From the center of the city here, you can see mountains covered with snow. This is a real nice city with a downtown section twice as large as other cities its size. We went around to the stores and got some eggs, bread, butter, sugar, postum, ham, and pork. We cooked up our dinner and supper here. We caught a freight at about 9:15 p.m. and went to sleep in a boxcar. Wednesday, June 8th. We got in Cheyenne, Wyoming about 2:30 a.m., but stayed in the boxcar and slept until 7 a.m. We then walked into the city and got our breakfast at the Salvation Army. We went down to the park by the Capitol building and stayed for a couple hours, then went to the house and got a couple of sandwiches and a bottle of coffee. Went downtown and hit up the Mayflower Cafe. Had a wash and peeled potatoes for a couple hours, then got a good supper for it. We went to the hotel building and got a place to sleep. It was okay. Thursday, June 9th. Got up at 6 a.m., had breakfast, then had to mop the floor and do some work.